Being a solo queue player is one of the most difficult things to do in Siege. You can't rely on your teammates at all, and you have to be able to win every round by yourself. This can be extremely stressful, but one thing that alleviates some of the stress is picking the right operators for the job. Since solo queue relies so little on strategy, you want to pick operators that can help you succeed on your own. So in today's video, I'll be helping you with just that. I've compiled a list of my favorite solo queue operators that will help you get the job done. So follow me as I show you the best operators for solo queuing. The first operator I'll be talking about is Xero, which I'm sure you guys aren't surprised about. It was beaten into the grave by multiple other YouTubers before me, but it's true. Xero is one of the best operators for solo queuing hands down. He has a strong assault rifle that can allow you to easily frag out. He's a 3-speed, which helps with that even more, and his cameras can allow you to be a one-man drone army. That is the main reason he is so strong for solo queue. You can gather a ton of intel with your gadget on your own, and since you're solo queuing, this will make up for your teammates' lack of callouts. I would recommend playing him like an entry fragger with extra drones. What you want to do is drone out areas of the map, then take the map control and use your cameras to watch your flank or to check rooms when you run out of drones. Putting cameras on your flank can allow your dead teammates, if they're on comms, to call out for you, and you can also periodically check them if you need to. Now, the next operator I think is really good for solo queue is Lesion. He is good for the same reasons as Xero. Lesion has a really good primary, the T5 SMG. He is a 2-speed, meaning you can anchor or roam depending on what the team needs. He brings impacts to make site rotates if your teammates don't bring anything for them, and his gadget is a trap that can give you intel on where the attackers are coming from. The reason this is so strong for solo queue specifically is because even if your teammates don't give any callouts, his traps work as your own pocket callouts. If you place them properly, you can figure out when an attacker is flanking you and where their main push is coming from just based off of where your goos are going off. Another huge plus of Lesion is that it doesn't take much time to learn how to play him, so there isn't much of a skill ceiling. All you have to do is throw his goos throughout the map in common entryways, staircases, etc., and you'll get a ton out of it. Next up, we have Iana. I'm sure you guys aren't surprised by this pick. If you haven't noticed a pattern, she has a good gun in the form of the G36C, she's a 2-speed, and her gadget helps her gather intel. She basically is just Xero with infinite drones instead of stationary cameras, which most of the time her infinite drones are better for solo queue anyway. Also, on top of it all, she gets nades, which are by far the best secondary gadget in the game. They can help you get rid of a ton of defender utility, and you can pick up some free kills in combination with your drones. With Iana, I would recommend conserving your drones until later in the round and using her clones as much as possible instead. This is because you only get 2 drones, which you can use as stationary cameras if you need to, while you have infinite clones. Outside of that, Iana is pretty straightforward. Just take map control and go off with her good gun. Moving past Iana, I'll now be covering my next defender that is good for solo queue, which is Mute. In the current meta, people are picking more drone operators than ever, and Mute jammers can help your team deal with those annoying clutch drones, shock drones, and Flores drones. He can also use his jammers as a makeshift breach denial if your team doesn't bring a Bandit or Kaid. But his jammers aren't the only reason he's in this video. He also has the best loadout in the game for solo queue, hands down, or at least on defense. This loadout consists of the M590 shotgun, SMG-11, and nitro cell. The reason this is so strong is because it allows you to set up the bomb site properly. When you are solo queuing, you shouldn't expect your teammates to be setting up the bomb site correctly, or even at all. So since you have a shotgun, you can make all the important head holes, foot holes, and rotates that your teammates probably won't know about. Also, his nitro cell is a huge plus because of the fact that you can use it to deny the plant late in the round. He is just extremely versatile and can fill so many holes for your team that I thought he's worth mentioning in a video like this. Now to move on to another attacker, which I think the only one fitting to come next is Jackal. Jackal's gadget is another intel gathering gadget that can allow you to easily roam clear on your own while your team is dealing with the bomb site. Using his Inox along with good drone work is easily one of the best combos for roam clearing, but you can also use his goggles later on in the round to figure out where the last couple of defenders are hiding. On top of his great gadget for solo queue, he has 2 great primaries to choose from and a secondary shotgun which can be used to open soft walls, hatches, or whatever else you may need. You can just cover so many bases with Jackal, and I think that's what makes him such a good pick for solo queue. Next up, we have another defender, that being Wamai. This may surprise some of you, but hear me out. If you ask your teammates to bring a deployable shield, you can easily be a one-man army with Wamai. You can use his magnets to protect you and your shield from getting naded, and you can take advantage of his MP5K that now has a 1.5 to confidently swing attackers. But if you don't want to play behind a shield, or your teammates already have someone doing that, you can anchor in the bomb site and use his magnets to slow down the attacker's push. As a bonus, he also brings impacts which can make rotates in the site if your teammates don't bring anything. With Wamai being somewhat of a one-man army, as I said earlier, I think it's only right he makes it into this video. Moving on from Wamai, it's now time to talk about Buck. Buck is mainly strong for solo queue because he is extremely versatile. He can do so many things depending on what your team needs, and that is what solo queue operators are meant to do. Buck's gadget is the skeleton key, which is an underbarrel shotgun that can deal damage to defenders or blow a good chunk out of a soft surface. This capability on top of his flashbangs in Gone 6 allows him to pretty much do it all. He can play vertically, burn ADSs, destroy hard utility, and take gunfights with his amazing C8 assault rifle. You really can never go wrong with him in any situation, let alone solo queue. When playing him, I would recommend playing vertically just to take advantage of a shotgun as much as possible, but you don't even have to do that with Buck. He's just a great overall operator. Now for the next defender of the video, I chose Solace. The reason I chose her is because her roaming capability is just simply unmatched. She can easily find drones, which are really useful in the prep phase, and other attacker utility like claymores and air jabs. Being able to see all these things through walls gives her a huge advantage at roaming. She can know where the attackers are pushing from, reposition herself based on that intel, and sometimes she can even get free kills off of that intel as well. Also, since drones are the biggest counter to roaming, her being able to counter that easily makes her job as a roamer much easier. She isn't only good because of her gadget though. She also has the P90, which is a solid primary SMG, the SMG-11 as a secondary, and she has impacts which are even stronger on her since she can use them to deal with air jabs, claymores, and other anti-flank gadgets. If you're looking for a good roamer to solo queue with, she is the perfect fit. Now for the final attacker of today's video, that being Flores. Flores is strong at solo queue because he can destroy a ton of defender utility on his own. So it doesn't matter how much your teammates throw in the pick phase, as long as you play your drones right, you can get 4 pieces of utility off the board for the defenders. This by itself is strong, but you can also use them to open soft surfaces in a pinch. If you need a soft wall breached, or you need a hatch breached, or even if you need a vertical hole made, Flores can do it all. Also, his beginner-friendly weapon, the AR-33, allows him to take gunfights with ease, and his flashbangs allows him to swing defenders that are disoriented. The only stipulation for Flores to work in an actual game is that you need to figure out if the defenders are running a mute. If they are, they will be much more likely to shut down your plans, and so I would recommend switching off Flores. Now for the final operator of the video, and I think it only makes sense for it to be Bandit. Honestly, you can't expect your teammates to run breach denial, and that's where Bandit comes in. He's a 3-speed with a good gun, and he brings his batteries to help his team protect the wall. So you have the option to just set up your batteries and go roam with his good gun and nitrocell, or you can stay in the bomb site and Bandit trick the wall. I would recommend tricking in most situations because the longer you can keep the main wall closed, the less of a risk you run of your team falling apart. In my experience, if me and my teammates are going to throw around, it normally happens after a major wall is open. So if you can delay that, it can work wonders for your team's success rate. But don't feel pressured to Bandit trick. You might want to be a little more hands-on in your defense, and so just placing down your batteries can work just as well because it allows you to go and take the fight to the attackers. That about wraps up today's video. As always, this video is strictly my opinion, and if you disagree with one of the operators I placed in this video, let me know in the comments down below. And also feel free to leave even more operators in the comments to help other people out. If you enjoyed today's video, I make Siege content just like this twice a week, so go subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter if you don't want to miss the next upload. If you want to watch another video just like this one, a video will be popping up on your screen right now where I compare the trap operators of Rainbow Six Siege. I'll see you next time, friends, and peace.